With this beautiful Northwoods setting and a cabin named Whitetail Lodge, you might think this story is about another Minnesota resort. But this place isn't a destination for just anyone. It's a unique retreat set aside for families who have experienced the unimaginable tragedy of losing a child. For the grieving, it's a place to come together, to have time alone, to find someone who understands the pain of loss, and maybe, just maybe, to begin to learn how to smile again. Pat and Judy Meisner can relate to parents who are coping with loss. They started Smile Again after dealing with their own personal tragedy.
22 years ago, we had a daughter who was 13 years old that passed away from heart disease.
It was her first day of school, and she was just getting ready for school, taking a bath, and she had a cardiac arrest while in the bathtub. Then I heard Pat scream, "Call 911, call 911." And I really didn't know what was going on, so I ran into the bathroom, and then I saw him doing CPR on Mickey.
It's one of those moments where when I opened the door, Mickey was face down in the bathtub. She had been taking a bath. And it's kind of one of those moments where everything just stops. And it only was a second, I'm sure, but it seems like just your world ends.
Mickey was in the hospital then for 38 days in the coma. She never did come out of her coma. And during that time, it was like a roller coaster. As some days she'd get a little bit better, and then complication would set in. So during those 38 days, it was like you were on a roller coaster. The hardest day of our lives was on October 13th at 1:15 a.m. when the nightmare that had began on September 6th became a reality, and that's when our Mickey died.
And I think one of the things we experienced after Mickey's death, certainly we did, is just the reality there weren't a lot of resources for moms and dads. That's what we were finding, is who do you turn to deal with your grief, the struggles that you face after a child dies. In a sense, can anybody help us? And we found that those resources were pretty lacking.
The concept of Smile Again really started to form while Pat was a pastor in Sauk Rapids.
Someone found out that we had lost a daughter, and they asked if I could meet with this lady, because she had lost a son. And that's really where everything snowballed, where we just began meeting with many, many moms and dads that had lost children. And just our dining room table was just filled with people all the time. So unofficially, that's really where we began with Smile Again.
To provide grieving families with a comfortable and private environment, Smile Again hosts retreats at Whitetail Lodge near Cross Lake, Minnesota. Chaco, the Meisner's dog, also serves as the welcoming committee. Upstairs in Whitetail Lodge, 2 family-sized suites provide comfortable private space with walkouts onto a deck overlooking a beautiful garden and waterfall and the forest beyond. Downstairs, Pat and Judy continue the tradition of meeting with their guests at the lodge dining table. Other amenities include a special playroom for children, complete kitchen facilities for extended stays, and the comfortable living space that has walkout access to the gardens and side yard. Smile Again is nestled in a secluded wooded parcel on a relatively undeveloped lake, with private beachfront and a fishing boat for guest use. A campfire ring, garden walk, and treehouse are also available. After losing their son, Carter, Heidi and Ryan Retzlaff came to Smile Again.
I think we first heard about Smile Again Ministry when we met another couple who had lost a child, and their story was very similar to ours. They lost their firstborn son, and they encouraged us or told us about Smile Again Ministry, and we actually met them up there for the weekend, and right away Pat and Judy were incredibly welcoming.
Yeah.
And Judy gives you a big hug when you walk in the door, and just you feel right at home. And it was just a really great weekend, and a chance to talk about Carter and talk about what we're struggling with. And we went there about a year after our son passed away. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And you don't ever get over it, but with time, I think you learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And Judy and Pat, because they had experienced the loss of a child, they were able to understand all of our feelings and fears. And
one of the things that we have found to be incredibly useful, especially right after Carter's death, was that when we were able to speak with other parents that had experienced something similar, I don't think it's really possible for somebody else to kind of understand unless you've kind of walked that path before. And it helps you to understand that as you're going through some of those emotions and feelings, that you're not crazy, and that you're not without hope, and that you're not that there is hope. And so that was very good for us.
This beautiful retreat setting is packed with memories and mementos from the families that have come here. Besides the serene setting of the Peace Garden, the Meissners recently established a Pathway of Hope, where families can place stones dedicated to their loved ones. A special dedication ceremony usually marks the close of their time spent in retreat at Whitetail Lodge, and often marks a fresh start on the journey through grief.
Our prayers as people come, moms and dads and surviving siblings, that they would once again find hope, they would once again find peace. Because you don't think you're ever going to find hope and peace again, but with our experience, we have found hope and peace again. And it's a process, but as people come, hopefully we can help them, give them positive helps to help them through the grieving process.
Out of the ashes of their own family's tragedy, Pat and Judy Meissner have found a way to offer others who are grieving the loss of a child the hope that they may someday smile again. To learn more about Smile Again Ministries and Whitetail Lodge, visit our website at lakescountry.tv.